This is the story of Conquest, traitor to Guardian.
This is the story of Conquest, the traitor who became a hero. So the whole idea kicks off with a simple but massive change. Instead of Omni-Man, the Viltrumite Empire decides to send their top enforcer, their biggest, baddest weapon, Conquest, to get Earth ready for a takeover. You'd think that's a one-way ticket to planetary annihilation, right? I mean, this is Conquest we're talking about. But what if something completely unexpected threw a wrench in the whole plan?
You've got to understand, for a warrior like Conquest, this isn't a mission, it's a total insult. He's not being sent to shatter armies or conquer star systems. No, he's being sent to, what? Observe? Blend in? For a being built on pure power and pride, this is way harder than any battle he's ever fought.
And here's the real problem. Right at the start, the mission that Thragg gave him demands things like subtlety, patience, and even reproducing with what he sees as a weak, inferior species. But Conquest's entire being, his very soul, is all about brute force and total domination. To him, just walking among humans isn't a strategy. It feels like a complete humiliation.
So when he gets to Earth back in 2002, his first instinct is just raw, unfiltered violence. He sees a kaiju and he doesn't use strategy. He just unleashes a storm of power, causing a ridiculous amount of damage. And when Cecil shows up to confront him about it, Conquest does something new. He lies, just flat out lies, and says he's here to protect Earth. It's his first time using deception, a tool he's gonna have to get real good at.
And just like that, Conquest puts on the hero mask. But you have to remember, for him, every time he saves someone, it's just a cold, calculated experiment. He's not trying to be a hero. He's studying this strange, fragile species that he's supposed to infiltrate and eventually enslave.
But his little experiment takes a wild turn when he meets a woman named April. After he saves her during an attack, he's initially just interested from a biological standpoint. But April, she's different. She's not scared of him, she's just smart, calm, and kind in a way that he finds deeply, deeply unsettling. This is the very first crack in his Viltrumite armor. He's facing a kind of strength that isn't physical, and he has absolutely no idea what to do with it.
April points out something so basic he never even thought of it. He doesn't have a human name. She suggests Carl, and he just accepts it. Maybe because it's so simple, it asks nothing of him. He even takes her last name. For his hero persona, he picks the name Request, which is perfect, right? It totally fits the hollow role he's playing. For the first time, he's starting to become someone other than Conquest.
And this, right here, is where everything starts to get blurry. That mask he's been wearing, it's starting to feel less like a disguise and more like, well, him. The brutal warrior is about to find himself living a life he never could have possibly imagined. His whole transformation isn't some big flashy event. It's a slow burn. He and April get married, they move to a farm, and all these boring, mundane tasks start to teach him patience, a concept that's totally alien to a Viltrumite. And then, his children, Tommy and Emma, are born. That's it. That's the moment the universe shifts on its axis for him. He discovers a whole new definition of strength. It's not about dominating others anymore. It's about protecting his own.
Now, this doesn't mean the monster inside him just vanished. Oh no, his violent urges are still raging. But the crucial difference, the revolutionary change, is that for the first time in his entire long life, he is actively learning to hold them back. He's choosing to cage his own nature, all for his family.
And for years, this fragile piece actually works. He builds a life, he raises a family, and he genuinely protects the Earth. But that original mission, it never went away. And the day of reckoning was always, always coming.
The big turning point finally hits when his son, Tommy, turns 7. His Viltrumite powers awaken. Now, from the cold, hard perspective of the Empire, guess what? Mission accomplished, a resounding success. Humans are compatible. The invasion can finally begin. Conquest has done his duty. The problem is, Conquest isn't really the man standing in that field anymore.
So now we get to the moment of truth. He tells April everything, the real reason he came, the Viltrumite plan, all of it. And in this incredibly critical moment, she doesn't freak out, she doesn't fight, she just tells him to choose. And there it is, the impossible choice between the empire he was born to serve and the family he chose to build. He makes his decision. He chooses them, he chooses Earth.
But here's the thing, you don't just betray the most ruthless empire in the entire galaxy and walk away. There's a price for that. And the peaceful life he fought so hard to create is about to be completely shattered.
So 10 years pass. Alan the alien shows up.
Conquest easily beats him, but then does something shocking. He spares his life. This is not the old Conquest. He tells Alan everything, reveals his betrayal, and even proposes an alliance with the coalition of planets. He's going from a lone traitor to a potential galactic player. But this move backfires. Alan gets captured, and Conquest's location gets leaked straight to the Empire.
The Empire's response is exactly as swift and brutal as you'd expect. They don't send a warning shot, they send executioners. 2 Viltrumites, Nolan and Lucan, land on Earth with one single chilling order: eliminate the traitor. The years of peace are officially over.
There's no talking their way out of this. Nolan's words make the stakes crystal clear. For his choice, for his family, the only punishment is death. And in this moment, his transformation is finally complete. He's no longer an invader in hiding. He is the sole defender of this world against his own people.
What follows is just a cataclysmic battle that rocks the entire planet. Even for a beast like Conquest, taking on 2 veteran Viltrumites is a desperate fight. But then, something happens that the Empire never, ever could have planned for. His kids. Tommy and Emma jump into the fight. And they're not fighting to conquer, they're fighting to protect their father and their home, a concept that is completely foreign to the 2 assassins. Faced with this completely unexpected family unit, Nolan is actually forced to retreat. It's a victory, sure, but a temporary one. Conquest knows this failed hit isn't the end, it's a declaration of war. His quiet little farm has just become the front line, and his personal rebellion now has galactic consequences.
And way back on Viltrum, when Thragg gets the news of this failure, his response is just cold and absolute. He decides he's going to handle this problem personally. The ultimate threat is now on his way to Earth.
And that's where it leaves us, with this final, haunting question. Conquest's journey took him from a brutal conqueror to a devoted protector. He traded the strength of an entire empire for the strength of one family. But in the war that he just started, can one family, no matter how powerful, really stand a chance against the full might of the Viltrumite Empire?